Hi, this is Kina Kim with PivotalDiscovery.com. We're here with Chris Dale and Browning Marean at ILTA09. There are a lot of questions that attorneys have with regards to eDiscovery and eDisclosure as it's known in the UK. And people are always looking for good resources to be able to educate themselves, especially those that are newer to these areas. Can you explain or share with us some of the resources that are available here in the US and the UK?
Well, certainly can. For legal research in the U.S., I use a couple of sites. K&L Gates, eDiscoveryLaw.com is an excellent site. It is a very factual site. It gives good briefs of what the case is about and generally links to the case itself. In addition, Ralph Losey's blog is, in some respects, color commentary on eDiscovery. It's a little bit more enjoyable reading Ralph's blog because he puts so much of his enthusiasm into it.
Brownie, can you talk about some of the training and educational resources that are available sort of live or through the web?
Well, you know, in the U.S. We have very frequent seminars that are available. They're put on all around the country. And what we're finding is that doing them for about a day, day and a half, really gives people good insight and a good jumping off place. Chris and I are going to be doing one in November in London. It'll be I think it's the 4th or 5th of those, historically well attended.
And do all of these seminars, do they have some sort of criteria? Are they certificate programs, or what are the standards in eDiscovery and eDisclosure?
Well, right now we don't have eDiscovery certifications that I'm aware of. Chris, in terms of the UK, what resources do you have?
Just on your last point, we don't have any certifications either, since there's only about 5 people who could possibly fulfill those criteria anyway, whatever they are. That's probably not a problem. Judge Facciolo was asked that question at the legal side. Should there be some level of certification for eDiscovery supply as well as education, and gave what to my eye was a sensible answer, that tends to monopolize. Who's going to set the standards in this fairly still Wild West market?
Yes.
Who's going to define what the standards are, and who's going to give an independent view as to whether anybody has or has not reached those standards? So I'm not convinced that we need yet another organisation, another layer of bureaucracy here. We do need the incentive for people to provide good information. I'm very keen on suppliers and law firms supplying stories stripped obviously of client detail. One of the issues we have in the UK is that we don't report case management judgments in the way that you do. In this country you can see any judgment, as I understand it, very soon after it was delivered on almost anything. We don't have that. What was significant about the Digicel case wasn't so much what it said as the fact that it was the first one to have been reported. It was in fact a straightforward plod through what the rules were and made no new law. It was deeply significant because we'd never had one before that told the story. So we have far fewer resources than you do, which is one reason why we look to the US for its experience, which is a two-edged sword in some ways, because the keenest promoter of the subject in the US wouldn't say it's necessarily gone as well as it might have done.
Now, Chris, you'd mentioned something interesting about videos. Can you elaborate on that in terms of how companies, entities can share information?
A new notion that struck me really pursuing a completely different subject, which was the promotion of my son's band's new single. They did a video on YouTube, and I went to it and realised that YouTube has got built into it the most fantastic cross-linking system. That's where you choose something to look at, it shows you a number of others, more like this. And there are 1 or 2 eDiscovery suppliers. There's only one, in fact, Guidance Software, I think is the only one I know that does it, who put up short videos either of people talking or, in a recent case, of somebody actually showing their new product. And in 2 minutes and 9 seconds in that case, showing very clearly what it was. And it occurred to me that if 10 other suppliers, and indeed lawyers, had put up short videos, or perhaps even longer ones, maybe even a 20-minute one, describing some aspect of it, without any overall coordination, then anybody who found one could find the rest. And instead of having to arrange demonstrations or get into heavy reading, they could have a very short introduction that might just stimulate their taste.
Well, very interesting. You know, Picasa, which is the free photo offering from Google, has in its most recent version, I think it's version 3.0, the ability to use your webcam and create a video clip very easily. And so for a whopping investment of about $30 for a web camera, you can now prepare your videos and very easily upload them directly to YouTube. So I think it's a wonderful idea.
One of the interesting things about recession is that people have rather gone off gloss and glitz. And I think 7 or 8 years ago, if a company was producing a video, it would feel the need to have very high production values and for it to be perfect. And we don't have that anymore. People are much more willing to put up with things that are rough and ready.
But Chris and I do communicate over using Skype, but it is clear from the background of the room that I broadcast from and Chris's background that we need to clean up our act and have better background, sort of a Potemkin village that makes us look somewhat fancier than we are.
My room's being painted as we speak.
We'll look forward to more videos from both of you. Thank you for joining us.